The endoscopic ultrasound features of pancreatic fluid collections and their impact on therapeutic decisions, an interobserver agreement study. Introduction. Pancreatic and peripancreatic fluid collections, PFCs, are amongst the most ominous complications of severe acute pancreatitis. According to the revised Atlanta criteria, PFCs are classified on the basis of the interval time from the episode of acute pancreatitis and the presence or absence of necrotic content in acute fluid collections or acute necrotic collections and in pancreatic pseudocysts, PPCs, or walled-off necrosis, WON. Acute fluid collections and acute necrotic collections both occur within the first 4 weeks and are characterized by the absence of a mature wall. When spontaneous resolution does not occur, a well-defined capsule with a mature wall develops with formation of a PPC or WON. All these morphological features are usually revealed by computed tomography, CT, which represents the gold standard for their detection. However, CT proves less accurate for defining lesion type, in particular the presence of and percentage necrotic content. Endoscopic ultrasound, EUS, which has become the procedure of choice to treat both PPCs and WON, can provide additional and perhaps more accurate information on the content of PFCs compared with CT. This can be extremely helpful when choosing the most appropriate therapeutic approach, even though a validated classification of PFCs based on EUS findings does not exist. This lack of an EUS-based PFC morphological classification is responsible for the high variability and lack of therapeutic standardized approaches used by endosonographers to treat these conditions. Differentiation of acute from chronic PFCs is mandatory because the method of drainage and outcomes following therapeutic intervention differ substantially. In most cases, acute collections do not evolve further and regress with time. Only those that develop a mature wall and become symptomatic, i.e., cause multi-organ failure, organ compression, or abdominal compartment syndrome, need to be treated. For chronic PFCs, it is fundamental to distinguish PPCs from WONs and to assess in the latter the amount of necrotic content. This information can guide the choice of stent type, plastic versus metal, and the probability of needing direct endoscopic necrosectomy, DEN. To date, no study has focused on the agreement among endosonographers with regard to the EUS criteria to differentiate the PFC types or on the treatment decisions made based on the observed features of the PFCs. To fill in this gap, Fabbri et al. Performed an interobserver agreement study on the morphological definition of PFCs and on treatment options chosen by endosonographers based on the detected findings. Methods. 50 EUS videos of PFCs were independently reviewed by 12 experts and evaluated per PFC type, percentage solid component, presence of infection, recognition of and communication with the main pancreatic duct, MPD, stent choice for drainage, and direct endoscopic necrosectomy, DEN, performance and timing. The Goetz AC1 coefficient was used to assess interobserver agreement. Results. A moderate agreement was found for lesion type, AC1 0.59, presence of infection, AC1 0.41, and need for DEN, AC1 0.50, while fair or poor agreements were stated for percentage solid component, AC1 0.15, and MPD recognition, AC1 0.31. Substantial agreement was rated for ability to assess PFC MPD communication, AC1 0.69, decision between placing a plastic versus lumen opposing metal stent, AC1 0.62, and timing of DEN, AC1 0.75. Conclusion. Interobserver agreement between expert endosonographers regarding morphological features of PFCs appeared suboptimal, while decisions on therapeutic approaches seemed more homogeneous. Studies to achieve standardization of the diagnostic endosonographic criteria and therapeutic approaches to PFCs are warranted.